Hi, how you doing? I really hope you're doing well. Today, I really want to share with you some tips on just getting out of that negative mindset. Sometimes things that may have happened in your childhood and you may have gone through some kind of abuse or bullying or something like that where you just constantly told bad things about yourself and you might just internalize that feeling and you might just not know how to get out of that mindset. Whereas in every opportunity you get, you're always thinking of the most negative thing about yourself, and that may have caused a lot of jealousy and just feeling worthless and feeling ashamed perhaps of something that has happened to you, or just things like that where no matter what happens you just automatically will think of the worst possible thing about yourself, and it feels like it's something that's not even in your control. I've been under that kind of circumstance, and I know people who also have been in that situation, and it's very hard. Sometimes you're just thinking like all these negative things, like I feel so worthless, but at the same time you know that it's not very logical, because you know that there really isn't like a distinct reason that you can actually logically think. It's just kind of internalized in your mind, and this works really well, but it's a constant progress and it's something that you really have to work on. It's not something that can just be done once and then just have it be that way forever. So there you go. Here is the method, and it really works really well, and that is try to imagine yourself in a different person's point of view. For example, if something as bad has happened to you, right? If you've gone through this thing that has made you feel negative about yourself. For example, you may have been told that you were worthless. You may have been told bad things about yourself when you were young that you really believed. Now, what you really need to do is imagine yourself coming out of your body and seeing yourself as someone else. For example, that someone could be someone that you really care about. Maybe a little child, maybe your own child, maybe your son or your daughter. You just have to look at them from a different perspective and look, hey, if that person was in that situation, would you still feel negative about them? Would you feel negative that they've been through something really horrible? Would you feel negative if people all told that person, that specific person, all these negative things? How would you feel towards that person? Would you hate that person, or would you try to do everything you can to nurture and love that person? And you just really got to think, if you chose to nurture and love that person, then just remember that that person can be yourself, and you can love and nurture yourself, and realize that it's just because you're yourself, it doesn't mean you can just treat yourself lower or worse, or think yourself as someone less than other people. I know it's very hard sometimes when you feel so negative. It's very easy to just get into modes where you feel like everyone's finding a reason to hate you or finding a reason to get away from you because you just feel so worthless. I know what it's like because I've been through that situation, and that's where you really need to know your worth. And that knowing your worth is about knowing that everyone is worthy. Everyone's worthy. There is no such thing as a worthless person. I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. I truly believe that everyone is worthy. Everyone should feel worthy. I just don't believe that someone should feel like they're not as good as someone else. We all have our unique qualities. We are born unique, you know. We're born with things about us that nobody else in the world will share. So let's take advantage of that. Let's just realize that, hey, that is so unique. You can be using that amazing ability that you have to do so many great things. And it doesn't mean that people know better than you. Just because you were told things when you were a kid doesn't mean that they're right. And often you gotta really realize, hey, if this was happening to this little child, maybe just look for a photo. Maybe even look for a photo. Just imagine if this was happening to someone else. Would you feel the same way? Would you look down on that person and give them a reason to not like that person, give other people a reason, or think that, oh, everyone's trying to ditch you? Or would you think differently? Because I bet if it was someone else, you might feel differently about them than how you feel about yourself. So it is really important to just keep that in mind. Whenever you got a negative thought coming, you just have to imagine, hey, if that person was someone else, someone that I really care about and someone I cherish dearly, if they had gone through that, how would you feel then? Would you still have the thoughts that you have now, or would you have different thoughts? And try to remember what thoughts you would have, and just try to tell yourself that, and give yourself reasons to believe why you're worthy and why you're great and why you don't have to feel down about yourself or ashamed of something that has happened. And sometimes a lot of childhood trauma can lead to someone feeling shame, and the feeling of shame can just stick around like a bad smell that just won't go away, and you constantly feel like you are wrong. And that's something I have been through probably for the majority of my life, and because of that I find it very hard to talk to people, because I would always think like, why would they be interested in anything I say? And because of that I got into this spiral of horrible thinking where I just felt like, oh, people would just look at me and hate me or something like that. And it's only really since I've looked at myself in a way that I was looking at someone else that I realized, hey, all these thoughts I gave myself are very prejudiced and they're very, very unfair, because I'm being so hard on myself, and if it was someone else, I would be doing everything to protect them and to just shower them with love. It's strange how that works, where when it's no longer personal, you kind of see it in a more of a logical way, that it's no longer like feelings that you've kept inside you. So that's why I feel like it works quite well. So try that if you can. And I also want to throw in a couple of affirmations that you should definitely say to yourself every day as much as you can. And these are: I don't need anyone to validate my worth. I love you more than anyone can hate you. Think about those. And this is just a method that I really hope can help you get out of that really, really negative mindset where you feel down about yourself. And it's really effective if you've been through something where people have told you things that made you feel down about yourself. So I really hope you take care of yourself. Just remember that everyone's worthy, and you should not feel bad about yourself because other people have told you that. Do take care of yourself, and I will see you later. Bye bye.